With Outlander Season 7 all set to release soon, we thought we'd really look back at Season 6 and what went down there. Then, we noticed something pretty important that we'd missed out on before. There's a super important character missing from the 6th season. Like, where's Murtagh Fitzgibbons? Shouldn't he be in the prison scenes? Here's what the show had to say about it. First off, to understand Murtagh's role, we'll have to do a quick recap. Season 6 was a throwback to earlier Outlander seasons, where we learned more about Jamie Fraser's past while he was stuck at Ardsmuir Prison following the Battle of Culloden. He ultimately surrendered himself to the police to protect his family after being on the run from the Redcoats for 7 years and hiding out in a cave near Lallybroch, which fits right into how much he wants to protect his family. We even learned more about his life as the commander of the convicts at Ardsmuir, especially his interactions with Tom Christie, another imprisoned Jacobite. He was portrayed as a younger guy with red hair who spoke for the men of Ardsmuir. But shouldn't Murtagh be here with him? Jamie wouldn't be the guy he is today if it weren't for him, who bailed him out of trouble more than once. In the show, Murtagh's story was different from how it was in the books. This was mainly due to TV writing because whether book lovers liked it or not, Duncan Lacroix performed so well that the producers couldn't help but keep him around to make changes to Gabaldon's masterpiece. Second, here's what the cast had to say about Murtagh's absence. We first noticed that he wasn't there with Jamie to do all the hard prison labor at the prison. So it got us thinking, where did he go? Matthew B. Roberts decided to address our concerns finally, and told us to chill out because they hadn't written the character off the show yet. Obviously, there's a reasonable explanation for a character missing. Roberts said that this is basically a flashback of the time Jamie first came to Ardsmuir Prison, and he was alone when he came. So at this stage, he still hadn't met Murtagh and was going through some serious character development on his hermit journey. Obviously, he added that once the character enters the scene, Jamie's finally gonna have someone to talk to and lean on, but they wanted to show him struggling first, so we really appreciate what the missing character meant to him. Also, let's be real, Jamie was in prison back then for participating in the rebellion and fighting in the Battle of Culloden. He'd had his glory days, and there's nothing like prison to give you a lot of time to reflect. Plus, a lot happened there even without Murtagh. He ended up meeting Tom Christie, and there was a lot of tension between the Catholics and the Protestants in the prison. Okay, so how does this fit in with the books? The flashback scene is actually mentioned in the books, but Diana Gabaldon pretty much killed off Jamie's buddy in the books, so there was a lot of creative license involved with Murtagh's story in the show. There were flashback scenes in the books too, but when the Outlander production team took these, they switched them up a bit because Gabaldon killed off Murtagh at the Battle of Culloden, and thankfully the show's director wasn't ready to kill off such an important character. In the interview, Roberts went on to say that they really didn't want to include Murtagh in these scenes. It would have killed the point of showing Jamie lonely and suffering because that's also what Gabaldon showed in the books. And this fits right in with the order of the books because Murtagh appeared later in Ardsmuir Prison after he'd gotten used to being alone at the prison. So where are we supposed to assume he went? Well, according to Roberts, we should just imagine this troublemaker in some other prison, or maybe he hasn't been caught yet. There's no reason to go too deep into it. His absence was just part of Jamie's plot and character development. He'll definitely show up later, but we don't need to obsess over why he's missing. At least they haven't killed him off yet. Finally, Roberts talked some more about production. Since he was already sharing so much, Robert thought he might as well tell us more about how the season was filmed and what was the whole concept behind that. The showrunner revealed that these sequences were originally shot indoors, but were later changed to include Scotland. We were super happy about that because CGI's got nothing on the scenery of Scotland's hills and greenery. Roberts said that since the show was supposed to be Scottish, he really wanted to pull that aspect in, so his aim was to show the rough nature of the country through all the outdoorsy shots. Of course, that wasn't easy, especially when it came to lighting. He shared that when they were filming indoors, it just didn't feel the same because it was too boring, and didn't really have a Scottish vibe. It just looked like a boring old castle. He said he just wants to make sure we get to see that little taste of Scotland in every season, whether in the characters or in the show. And we definitely think he did a great job with that. And here's some other related news you might have missed out on. First off, Caitlin O'Ryan thought Sam and Katrina were a couple. If there's ever such a thing as chemistry that's too good, you can see it with Jamie and Claire. Or more specifically, Sam Heughan and Katrina Balfe. Caitlin O'Ryan of Outlander fell victim to fanfiction when she believed rumors that her co-stars were dating. She became stuck in an internet rabbit hole, believing that the viewer's support for a real-life relationship between Sam and Katrina was genuine. After hours of searching the internet, she ultimately convinced herself that the two were in a real-life relationship. It wasn't until she sat at her first table to read that she realized she'd been barking up the wrong tree. The Lizzie actor spoke with Lauren Lyle, with whom she reminisced about their initial days on the historical drama franchise. She acknowledged her error to her co-star, and told her about her first table read with the legendary starring pair. Of course, we can't blame her. The internet can be pretty convincing at times. Caitlin said that before she joined the show, she binge-watched 3 seasons of the show to learn everything, and by the end, she was convinced that they were really a couple. This just proves how good the two are on screen. Second, Lord John Grey went through a cast change. Lord John Grey might be a minor character on Outlander, but he surprisingly captured the hearts of millions of fans with his kind nature and everlasting support for Jamie Fraser and his family. In recent seasons, Australian actor David Barry played the part, but why was Oscar Kennedy replaced in the Starz series? The show's 3rd season introduced actor David Barry as John Grey, with Jamie Fraser seeing the English soldier while doing time at Ardsmuir Prison. Lord John's been a popular character in both the Starz series and the novels, and he frequently appears in the show. But before Barry took on the part of Lord John, the actor in his younger years was played by Oscar Kennedy. To keep people guessing about Kennedy's identity, he gave his character the name William Grey. When he earned the role in Outlander, the young English actor had already acted in Starz historical drama The White Queen. In season 3, Barry replaced him to reflect the 20-year time leap, with Lord John now in his 30s. That's not the only cast change the show went through, though. Caesar Domboy replaced Roman Barracks as Fergus Fraser, and Sophie Skelton played adult Brianna Fraser after Gemma Frey played Bree as a child. Finally, Ewan dropped another BTS for season 7. If there's one thing the cast and team of Outlander enjoys, it's teasing us with exclusive sneak peeks into the filming for season 7. And Sam Heughan joined in on all the fun too. He shared a funny behind-the-scenes photo from season 7, but he's, flipping someone off in it. The Outlander star's been giving behind-the-scenes glimpses of the upcoming season, but in his most recent post, we saw a very different side of his character. He shared a photo of himself and David Barry, shot from one of the monitors on set. But Sam happened to be giving someone the middle finger at the time the photo was taken. "Start the week right," he captioned the image. Well, looks like Fraser's got a sense of humor too, between battles and trying to protect his family. Many fans on the internet found this picture hilarious, and even said they wanted more blooper reels from the upcoming season. With season 7 filming well on its way, we're hyped to see what it'll bring to the screen since the last season ended on such a major cliffhanger. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think they should have found some way to include Murtagh in season 6? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.